this started a couple of years ago from a couple of different tracks. But in Michigan, what we have, and this is really looking at administrative programs. I suppose it could be adapted for teaching teaching prep programs, but specifically, I'm in the administration. So what we saw a couple of years ago was that in Michigan we have two tracks for administrators: central office track and a K-12 administrator. The latter being for principals, the first one being more for central office folks. And our associations in Michigan have been very involved in providing these certificate programs in kind of a non-traditional track. That's a whole nother discussion, but they're able to do it at a far reduced cost and a period of time that is probably about a half of what we do. So for students, cost and efficiency is very attractive. And so over the last 10 years or so, in combination with some legal changes, we have lost a lot of students in a traditional path. Combine that with the fact that we've had a number of students that have come to us and can you hear me now? Somebody said that they couldn't hear me. Can you? Okay. We've had a number of students who have come to us that have said, I've been a curriculum coordinator for 10 years. Can I get credit for the curriculum course? And we've had to say, no, we have no mechanism by which to transfer work experience into credits. So we would have to stick with the university program policies, which say, we could only transfer in 6 credit hours. And that depended on what the person had and our program and so forth. So kind of a perfect storm hit, and we said there's an opportunity here to use prior learning assessment. And so we developed a program by which we are now able to, in essence, transfer in 3 different mechanisms over into Western Michigan University credit. And those are work experience. So if somebody has been a principal for 10 years, we're able to look at some things and decide if they are able to transfer their work experience into college credit. Second are professional development opportunities, conference opportunities. As I said, we have some very strong associations in the state, and they provide a number of different trainings. It's possible that those trainings can be transferred over into Western Michigan University credit. And then 3, we've expanded the possibility of transfer credit. So where we have only been able to transfer in 6 credit hours in the past, we are now able to take university credit from the state or out of state and actually turn that into Western Michigan University credit to, in a sense, I don't want to say circumvent, because we're not trying to circumvent policy, but in order to get students more credit that they deserve through those three different mechanisms, if you will. For instance, our masters in ed leadership combined with the K-12 administrative certification is 30 credit hours. 15 of those hours could be PLA'd. The same thing in the central office, except our law in Michigan is that in order to get a central office certificate, you have to have 21 hours past the MA. And so we allow in that process 4 courses, 4 out of 7, to potentially be PLA'd. With the associations, they can grant certification, but they can't grant degrees. So we took that market, started working with the associations and said, okay, you've got your certification, but if you can come here, we can grant, in many cases, it's really exploded our EDS and PhD. We have a number of students coming back for those 2 programs. So we grant half of the credits for the central office certification or the building certification. And the one that has probably been the most productive is what we call our Route 1. So these folks go through their certification training. They get their certificate from the association, and then they come to us and finish up with a degree. And we're able to take the work that they've done through their certificate and apply it to our degree program. The programs that we institute for PLA are all based on the NELP standards, for the national NELP standards, which are also approved and in place at the state level. So all of the PLA that we grant has to be based on the NELP standards. With our third option, which is the work experience, this requires a little bit more effort on the part of the faculty. And that's okay, because we like to maintain control of this. Probably we have not had a lot of negative feedback on it, but if there was a rumbling regarding it, there were people probably saying, well, are you giving away credits? And the answer is no, we're not. Because if somebody says, hey, I've been a principal for 10 years and I want credit for the principalship course, they are required to develop a pretty rigorous portfolio, and they have to articulate through a narrative as well as providing evidence that they have met the standards, the NELP standards that we have assigned to that particular course. That portfolio is then evaluated by 2 faculty members, and we have actually had discussions about including practitioners in the evaluation. Some of our superintendents have said, you know, we'd like to be involved in that evaluation. So that's something that we're looking at as well. But for right now, 2 faculty members evaluate these portfolios to determine if their work experience meets the standards and the rigor that we feel is appropriate for qualifying them for PLA credit. So the faculty never lose control of the process. If they are bringing in college credit, well, we trust thoroughly that the university or college that has provided that course and credit is meeting certain standards and approved by state associations and so forth. With the first one, with conference and professional development, again, it's reviewed by faculty to make sure that if you are taking a superintendency training course, that it actually meets the standards that we have developed for our superintendency course. And then the third one with work experience, that is a rigorous portfolio, and it is evaluated thoroughly by faculty. So faculty always maintain, I'd say, strict control over awarding credit. It is not something that the student has a right to or is entitled to, but it is approved by the faculty. However, I can say most of our students are pretty traditional folks that are in the schools, have gone through association superintendent programs and so forth. 90 to 95% of them are quality, and it has really helped us increase enrollment, especially in our EDS and PhD program. I can honestly say there wasn't anything really negative. The biggest thing was learning systems. So, you know, the university, there's, for instance, with the portfolio, there's a charge for that for the student of about $400, and then $100 for any additional portfolio review. Well, the university works that system, so we had to learn some system kinds of things, not insurmountable. It's been very well received and supported by our administration. They're really, the only negative is just working through the process to develop it, going through our grad studies council, our curriculum review process. Quite honestly, we didn't think we were going to get approval for half of our certificate programs. We did. We were excited about that. And when I say that came from the university. We didn't think we would get that approval, so we were excited about that. Really, there haven't been many negative things to speak of. The only hardship is maybe when a candidate applies for it, and you have to come back and say whatever you've done, either portfolio uh, or professional development, doesn't quite meet the standards, but it's usually easy to say why. So I'd say overall it's been really positive.